was a single mother in this house for a large part of the time that I was here. So I was thrilled and delighted. Then found out the opportunity to become an owner of this property was even greater for me, so that my children would have a continuous place to live. My children would even be able to see what home ownership looked like for themselves in the future. So the road getting here, to answer that, was difficult, because being a single mother of four, not making a lot of money at the time, it just was not something I even thought about. So then bringing my husband in a few years later, actually 11 years later, it made it even greater, because that was something that he and I could share together. Let's fast forward to, I believe it was 2019. We got our letters. Hey, your 15 years are about up. This is, there's time, you've got to, we're beyond the 15 years at this point, but it's time. And so they were saying, let's get started. And so went through all of these different channels with Homeport. Had to sit down with Layden, and had to sit down with counseling, and had to go through the home buyers classes, which we had already been to 2 before. Sat down with Layden.
Remember us working with them through those obstacles. We worked with them to come up with a plan to purchase the home within the year to achieve that goal. Some things happened, and then we're still with them to help them work through the obstacles. They couldn't start the plan when we gave it to them because the money just was not there. And for a lot of people, when that happens, they just give up and start living life.
After you keep the process, keep going, you keep saying, no, this isn't happening. So when we lose a little bit of money, you start having a little doubts and being a little skeptical. So I think for me, just a little bit, but for her, never. She kept pushing till the end.
But the one thing I remember about the Hearns was they, even though they didn't have the money to do it right then, they kept that plan. And when the money started to come in, they were then able to start to pay those things down and work that plan.
When things are easy for you, you don't understand and appreciate the value of it. They made us work for this. Going to the home, not only the home buyer classes, but even being a homeowner and being a tenant of their property, we had to go through upkeep classes.
The good thing is, if Homeport was not there to help them stay on the track, a lot more people would have given up.
I've put in my time, I've done the work, I've kept the yard up, I've kept, he with his pushing and prodding, and he's forcing me to make sure that the house looks great. There's no way, this house belongs to us. We're gonna do this. And it happened. And so we closed on February 7th, 2020.
Don't be afraid to fall down. But all you have to do is dust yourself off and get back up, get your action plan, and get right back into it.
I'm grateful for the journey, and I do appreciate it. And just being able to say, this is ours, and we're grateful for what we have.